You know, that's part of an artist's dilemma. They always feel like, even if you give them a compliment, they think, well, I could have done a little better. I think I could have done this or that. You're never really satisfied. But it's a good thing because it makes you want to push yourself to be even better. You do it because you want to do it, you love to do it.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
You're assuming I know who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Currently, I'm a potter. Actually, I've been a potter since 1971. I always enjoyed art. My mom was a really good artist. She wasn't trained, didn't have any lessons. But she was a very talented, natural painter. And she always encouraged me. I always lean towards the natural environment. I love to do the plants and the botanical motifs, the carvings. I'm a visual person, so I usually sketch it out. I like to take paper and draw out my ideas and work them out, and in my mind I can see it three-dimensional, and I'll break it down and see if it's going to work. Often I do that before I ever make a piece of pottery or anything on the wheel. I think of an idea, I sketch it out, and then I redo it and do it until I think this is going to work. And then from the 2D, I put it into 3D. I got in high school, I took art course for 4 years and got outstanding art student for all 4 years in a row, and decided I was going to go to the Chicago Art Institute. And my dad said, no, that's not a good idea. He said, why don't you go to Ball State, you can become a teacher, and then you can create your art on the side. So I did that, and I would work in the steel mills during the summer. I could make enough money to pay for Ball State. I was just finishing up my undergraduate work. At my first ceramics class, I took one and I got a C in it. It was terrible. It was hand building, and I didn't do well. It wasn't, I mean, I like working with the clay, but it just wasn't very good. And then one day I was in there and I saw this man working on the potter's wheel, and I asked him if I could sit down and watch. And I ended up sitting there for 2 hours watching him make stuff. And he was so smooth, I was just fascinated, and I thought, boy, I'd like to try that. So when I started my master's degree program, I took the wheel throwing, and from then on, I've just been kind of hooked. After I been working for a year in the master's program, we were all asked to bring in some of our favorite pieces. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but we set my 6 pieces on the table, and Marvin Reichel, he was a really outstanding potter from Alfred University. And he looked at my pottery, and he'd pick up a pot and go, you know, look at it. And then he took it and dropped it in a trash can. And he picked up another one. And he looked at it and he said, I don't know. And he dropped it in the trash. He dropped all of them in the trash can, and they broke. And then there was one left. And I was so upset I didn't know if I was going to hit him or what. These are my favorite pieces. I mean, what's he doing? And then he held up the last one, which I still have, by the way. And he said, now this I like. And I can see why he liked it now. When I think back, I think, man, I made that stuff quick, and I could have taken more time and made better pots. And, you know, it's just a learning experience. Got my master's degree in art education with a specialization in ceramics. And I remember the professor said that I was so dedicated in my ceramics, I did 10 years worth of work in 2 years to get my master's degree. Because I actually had a place in Knightstown where Henry Sittler was the law office. And in the back room, he had a room that I could set up a potter's wheel, which I built myself. And I would be down there at midnight and throw. And I could hear the traffic go by on Route 40. And I loved art. I loved teaching art. Of course, I've taught classes for kids and adults. Adults are just big kids, and they laugh the same way a kid does when the pot flies off the wheel, you know. Elementary, not so much. I mean, they would do anything for you, but their attention span was really short. My favorite area was high school art. I always told my students art's a great way to escape without running from home. You know, you can just get in the zone. And I remember times I'd be in a classroom and you wouldn't hear a sound. Everybody was working. And I thought, this is great. They're actually all working. You know, if you don't think art and design is important, just go put a blindfold on and go pick a car. You don't care what color it is. You don't care about the style or the design, as long as it's a nice car and it runs well. Nobody is going to do that. They're into design, whether they know it or not. They're into art, color, theory, design. All those things are really important. It plays a big role. And you know, on the SAT test, they don't test anything on fluid intelligence, anything on art. I've always pushed the thing that there's more to life than going to college. I would rather spend my time on the wheel or hand building or making things. And you kind of have to decide in life, what's your priority? If you put it off and wait till you're 60 or 70 years old and think, why didn't I do this? I mean, that is a shame. That's a crime. At least dabble in it. And, you know, it's not, you have to realize that art, any kind of art, painting, drawing, photography, it's all really hard work. And first of all, you've got to want and love to do it. You have to have the stamina to do it. And in time, you learn your subject material. You work as hard as you can to get better at it. You do it every day that you can. And you look for opportunities, and eventually you establish yourself and you become independent. I work on the wheel one day and I feel like I could throw anything, and then another day, and I hope that's not today, another day it's like, what am I doing out here? This is crazy. So, you know, you just have to come back and keep at it